Hi, this is Miles with DCH Motorsports. We're a special tuning shop located in Temecula, California. DCH Motorsports is actually in charge of fixing up the DCH Auto Group cars here in Temecula. Our dealership consists of Acura, Honda, Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep. We do a lot of Hondas with wheel packages and simple cold air and exhaust systems. In addition, we also serve automotive enthusiasts that want to tune and modify their vehicles. Today on webridestv.com, we will be fixing up a Dodge SRT8 with simple bolt-ons and see how much power we can make out of it. Our technician Marvin over here will be doing the cold air intake system install. But before we get started, we're going to do some baseline runs on the dyno to see what power we're making. Finished doing a baseline run on our Dodge Charger SRT8. Looks like we're making about 350 horsepower to the wheels and about 423 to the crank. Marvin will now install the Mopar cold air intake system to see what it can do.
We're ready to install the Mopar cold air intake system. This is a great aftermarket piece to get an immediate increase in horsepower and torque. It's also a carb-exempt approved product. The system has three major components. It's got the big cone air filter, it's got the charger tube, and it also has the heat shield. Installation is really easy. You only need a couple of wrenches. If you don't have any metric stuff, you can use a 1/2 inch. And an 8mm or a flathead screwdriver for the hose clamps. Go ahead and uninstall the stock system so we can install the aftermarket piece. There you go. Stock piece is now removed. Now when you're installing your unit, you want to just make sure that this is the only hose clamp that's tightened before you finish the project. Typically what happens is if you start tightening all the hose clamps, you start misaligning things. You want to have some sort of adjustment before you finish your project. The heat shield separates the heat from the engine from the air filter in order to get colder air into your intake system. What's great about the Mopar product is that it's an OE replacement piece, meaning that you will utilize the same bolt holes and bolts that you have just removed. The charger tube, which is also good for increasing the flow into the intake manifold. This Mopar cone filter is great. It flows a lot better than the stock air filter, and it's a wet filter and helps trap dirt so you don't get dirt into your intake system. You can reuse it and re-clean it, recharge it, and put it back in. Right now we're installing the breather tube extension. Always remember to reinstall anything that you have taken apart. Plug in all the electronics that were unplugged. Now you're ready to tighten up all your hose clamps and make adjustments as needed. Now this is the most important piece of your Mopar intake, the carb exempt sticker. This assures you when 5-0 rolls up on you, pops your hood, that you will not get a ticket for it. Go ahead and install the sticker on the cold air intake system. The cold air intake has now been installed. Let's go to the dyno and see how much power has been gained.
Okay, with that Mopar cold air intake system install, it looks like we've gained about 30 foot-pounds of torque all the way across the power band. One thing great about the aftermarket cold air intake system, it looks like it started picking up power as early as 3,500 RPM, and that's where we started seeing that gain, that 30 foot-pounds all the way across the board. It actually made a broader power band all the way up to 6,000 RPM. On the horsepower figures, it looks like we started seeing gains at about 3,700 RPM with starting about probably 5 to 10 horsepower. We've gotten the peak horsepower increase of about 40 from 434 to 394 all the way up to 6,200 RPM.